This is a Patreon exclusive.
So what we're working on here first, defense. Amaya is a very, very good defender. Her defense is further along than her offense. I guess she, like myself, I hate being scored on more than I like just getting buckets. So she's a defensive player right now, and what we're doing is I'm working on a big power slide to her left or my right side, because we all know the majority of us are right-handed, and we're going to try to get back right, especially at the youth level, right? These kids, they may take a couple dribbles in their left hand, but ultimately they're going to power back right, and so we're just programming that muscle memory of sliding left and then power sliding back to the right and cutting off the offensive player. Also trying to show her, if you keep your arms wide, it gives an illusion to the offensive player that they can't turn the corner on you. When your arms are down, they can lean that shoulder on you and turn the corner. See, first I'm showing her my hands are down. She felt like she had an angle. Now on this next possession, I'm gonna put my hands up, and all of a sudden she doesn't have that angle. I probably moved my feet a little bit better too. But point being, you wanna be as wide as possible. One thing that we've identified in her game that she does is when someone steps back or acts as if they're gonna pull up, she'll leave her feet. You see how she hopped right there? Now an advanced ball handler is gonna go right around her. And so what we were working on is the closeout but not leaving your feet, and then a rip if the shooter doesn't bring the ball up. Again, at the youth level, a lot of the times they pick the ball up and then they'll hold it for a good 3 or 4 seconds, giving you the opportunity to strip it. And so we're trying to work on her closeouts are great, but sometimes she loses her feet right there. I just gave her the business with the little hezzy and showing that that's what an advanced ball handler will do, right? Get you in the air and go right around you. So with her length at her age, she doesn't really need to jump unless she's fully selling out. Huh?
I don't usually do that on defense, like when it's a big...
Right. Sometimes you have to turn and run. But there's times, like especially like in a zone. Here, hold it for me. She's playing in a 2-3 now. And this goes back to, again, talking about Kevin Durant and Steph staying in their stances. When you're loaded and athletic, you can fly around and help much better rather than just standing completely upright. And so right here, I'm just talking about the little slides and then the power slides to recover, right? And then there's, of course, also always, you have to identify when you have to turn your hips and actually just run to a spot. More than 2 or 3 shuffles, and you probably should be turning and running. Let's try one more. You see what I'm talking about with the power slides? Boom. Power slide. Don't touch. Just get to the line and power slide back. Boom. See the ball. Those are small. Get there better. Good. Boom, yeah. Right? And then, no doubt. If it's more than 1, 2, then you have to turn and get it. You should only be sliding at 2 to 3. Here, you're running ball 1, 2, right? If you can go like this, that's good. If it's more than this, you gotta turn. Here I am working on the reverse pivot catch again. And this, I'm not a post player. I never was taught to play in the post. I'm a guard, so this is a very awkward movement for me as well. But each week, I think we're gonna base our vlog training around the player profile that I'm highlighting for that week, so it kind of matches and showing some of the matching drills that I would use. And so again, this is the reverse pivot, and it opens up so much, but it's like one of those things when you first do it, it feels very awkward. At least for me, it did. I switch sides here, but if you notice, I keep my pivot foot, I should say, to my left foot, so the move is a little bit different, right? And that's just something I'm not very ambidextrous in my pivots, but I never traveled either. And that's a subjective thing for me and for kids. And again, this goes back to jiu-jitsu. I train certain aspects. I train always to my strong hand or foot or side and adjust accordingly. I'm not a big believer in, unless you're going right away off the catch and switching pivot foots. Again, I'm not a post player. That's more from a guard's perspective.
Man, throw it in front of you, hop and go get it. I just did it like 50 times. Boom, swing through, tap, and go middle.
The biggest thing for young players is balance. And it is for all people, but as you get older and you're stronger, you're able to regain your balance easier when you misstep. But for kids, they need to remain on balance, and they usually keep their feet too wide or too narrow, and that's the root of the unbalancing.
Good, good. You're just pulling the string short on the jumper, that's all. Throw it up, hop. There you go, hop, swing through, jab. That's all right, you're getting the move down. The jumper, don't worry about that, that'll come. Hop, swing through, tap. There it is, there it is. Hop, swing through, tap. Jumper. That's money. Starting to get it down. Catch your breath, yeah, that's fine. Be on balance, boom. Swing through, tap. Bang. Okay. So, you hold for me now.
Something that's new to this generation of basketball player is wrong foot, wrong hand layups. You see me go inside hand, left hand on that side, and a lot of it just is angles. But now, I believe it needs to be trained, right? Because there's a part of me as a coach, it's like you don't want to teach the wrong fundamentals, but the way the game's being played now, you're going to need unorthodox finishes at the rim. So that's the inside hand scoop from the right side, as well as the counter on the reverse pivot. This is the second layer, right, where you reverse pivot, and that you've already shown the defense the jab back middle, so now you're ripping all the way through.
Wrong way. Right? Swing all the way through. That's what's weird about it. So it doesn't have to be super fast. It just has to be clean. There it is. Good. Hop, swing all the way through and go. Good. And make that first dribble low. Boom. So. Ooh. Ooh. Right? Because now
that she kind of understands the basics of the move, the other key aspect to any kind of move set, I mean, it's repetition and muscle memory, but it's also reading the defense so you know when to use it and use the counter. And so now as the defender, when she reverse pivots, I'm having her try to make the read of what I'm doing. Are you going to come back middle, or are they taking away the middle and you just rip all the way through? Now, she went off course there, but I think it's important as a coach, trainer, parent, right, is you got to encourage creativity. So you don't want to scold anybody you're training if they kind of sometimes, you know, it's a fine line because you want them to follow the universal rules, but you need to give them some freedom and creativity. Still working on reading the defense and bringing this back to Durant, because this is kind of the Durant week, right? It is, and here's the third layer where you'd reverse pivot and shoot right in the spot, and that's something Durant does. But again, Durant, you're a product of your environment. He has never really had to read defenders, and so he's not that good at it. Whether it's fighting, swimming, basketball, ultimately you're trying to cut out all the unnecessary parts of your movement, right? You want to be as efficient as possible. So, and that's where kids, watch how much unnecessary movement is in that move, right? So we'll go back to mine. And again, where I have 20 years plus of experience. The swing, you see how much less movement I needed to do the same move. But the beauty of youth, man, watch her get more efficient with each repetition. I'll probably wrap these training vlogs with this every week because this is what we finish up with, a game of horse, where I try to sneak in move sets, right? It's a little more than just a shot. It's usually a move into a shot. Some of you remember from last summer, I showed a recording of this, and we may do some stuff outside. I remind you guys, being out in the desert, it's about 110 degrees, so I apologize for the spotty lighting in the gym, but it's kind of how we got to train out here. I'll let this just flow through.